When he exposes the hidden in darkness and reveals the thoughts of the heart, he says, he's going to reveal the actual reality of what's going on in that person. What's the reality? Not what they do, but what was driving what they do. Okay? What drove the action? Because I can get you to stop the action. That doesn't mean I stopped you from wanting to do the action, for what's driving it. This is the whole reason the first sermon the Messiah gives. He says, well, you know of old where it says not to murder, that's the action. He says, but I want you to dig in and fix the reason behind it, which is the wanting to hurt somebody, to be angry and wanting suffering to happen to someone, to kill them. You know of old it says not to commit adultery. I want you to fix the problem where you would even desire it, because that's what drove you to. If you didn't want it, nobody accidentally murders somebody. You don't accidentally commit adultery. You don't accidentally, right? All these different things. Something inside wanted to do it, okay? Now, there are some things accidentally. You might accidentally eat something you shouldn't eat because somebody didn't tell you something. That's understandable, because there are sacrifices in Leviticus for the unintentional sin. But I'm saying is the active thing that you do, that sin, doesn't happen by accident. There was a drive. There was a desire. And that desire manifested as an action. You know, we've talked about this many, many times, right? A thought can be just fleeting, which is why he says take every thought into captivity. In other words, take every thought, think about what you want to do with it, decide what you want to do with it before an emotion gets attached to it. That's what captivity means. In other words, captivity means when I have you and I take you into captivity, what does that mean? I have full control over you. You're mine now. I've taken you captive. So a lot of times people think, take the thought into captivity means somehow you've locked it up. No, it means I now own control over it, consciously. Because if I take you into captivity, I now consciously have control over you. All right? And then you decide what to do with that thought. You may just discard it. All right? I can admit in public that I've seen many a beautiful woman, and my thought went, that's a pretty woman. And then my brain said, but she's not my wife, and she's married, and I just discard the thought. Do you understand? There's nothing to stop a man or a woman from noticing an attractive person. Okay? You're going to do it. Ladies, please don't smack your husbands if a pretty girl walks by and his eyes wander for a second. Okay? Now, give him a second, though. Now, if it stays in, he just kind of, and he's just, okay, that's different. Now he's having a problem with his thoughts. Okay? Because he's not programmed to ignore that. But he should have the discipline to go, okay, back to reality. Okay? Because you'll do the same thing. Don't be a hypocrite. All right? You'll do the same thing. But the thing is, can we take the thought into captivity? Okay? Because the thought, once an emotion gets attached to it, then starts to get meditated on or dwelled on. You're thinking about it, and you're holding it there. And then over time, if you do that enough, it will manifest into an action. Okay? You're at work. There's a person there that's attractive. You may be having trouble at home. They're nice and friendly, which is attractive. They look attractive, whatever, and you have that thought, and you're holding on to it. And the more you spend interacting, the more the thought is getting stronger, to the point where you start coming up with ways to make it work. How can I find a way to have this? Now the craftiness of a human brain starts to go. Okay? But why is that happening? Because you held on to the thought and emotions got attached. And the more the emotions get attached, the more I have to have it. I got to figure out a way to have this. I want it. So you have to take control over that thought. Okay? You have to because it says here the judge is going to come and reveal the truth anyway. See, Yeshua is saying, you guys are running around thinking you're all slick because the guys are all running around going, I didn't commit adultery. He said, but you wanted to. Oh, yeah, good for you. You didn't sleep with her. But you wanted to. You meditated on it, you thought about it, you lusted about it. And when I say wanted to, I don't mean like the fleeting thought you got rid of it. I mean a thought that you held on to. A thought that you warred against because you were trying to figure out a way. And maybe the only reason you didn't do it is because you couldn't figure out a way to do it and get away with it. But you were trying. Your brain was coming up with every scheme it could. Okay? So the only reason you didn't do it is because you're so afraid to get caught. That is not good enough. That is not good enough. That is not character development. But that comes with all of the different things that he's expecting of us.